My laptop is like still charging, so I'm gonna have to wait for that before I really get started on it, but I kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna jump right into what happened with T.I., the rapper, which isn't really like YouTube tea, but like it's something that I really wanted to talk about. Basically, he said in an interview that he takes his daughter to annual gynecologist appointments to confirm that she is not having sex. And he said that as of her 18th birthday, she is still a virgin and that her hymen is still intact. Before I get into like obviously why this is like not, like the obvious reason as to why this is not right, like why would you say that? Like in what world do you say that about your daughter like in a public interview? Like you just thought it was okay to bring up that personal part of your daughter's life that she probably doesn't even want. And it's just so not right. He encourages his son to have sex, but when it comes to his daughter, he is protective of her. And his reason is because if his son goes out and gets somebody pregnant, that doesn't really affect their household. But if his daughter was to get pregnant, that would affect their household. First of all, she's 18. She can make that choice for herself whether or not she wants to be pregnant. Secondly, do you realize that you could just teach her about safe sex? If she goes out and doesn't practice safe sex after you have just taught her that stuff, and she gets pregnant and she's like, oh fuck, what do I do? There are so many more options as to what you could do in that situation, like to fix it. Why would you take her to annual, like what the fuck? That's such a shitty excuse, because forcing her and censoring her from that kind of stuff, like sexual activities, it means that she is unable to practice safe sex and she is unable to like learn, assuming that she wants to, and that just puts her in a worse position than if you were to just let her have sex. And she also went on Twitter and started liking tweets about how toxic this is and how like not okay this is. So I'm assuming that she agrees and that she doesn't want to have these annual checkups. He talked about how he was just being protective, how it was that the criticism was coming from a place where people were not willing to protect their children as much as he was willing to protect his daughter. And again, how is that protection? In what world is that protection? That is censorship and therefore leads to lack of protection. She's not going to know what's going on. She's going to be naive. She's going to not understand the situation. She's not going to know how to have sex safely. Not only that, I've been going on about his point of I don't want my daughter to get pregnant because that's going to change the household and all that. It's her choice if she wants to have sex. It is not your choice as her father to decide whether or not your daughter has your consent to have sex. That is her decision to make. And it is such a disgusting thing to do, to control somebody like that.
I guess he was getting the report, though, from the doctor about whether or not her hymen was
Don't say the word.
intact.
They don't want you to say that word.
Oh.
What, hymen?
But
We're not allowed to say that.
that's what the report was. I think that the problem that I had with it, because I think that women for too long have been forced to feel bad about their sexuality. And I know for me, someone that grew up in the church, in the Catholic faith, I was made to feel bad about my sexuality. I really was.
Yeah.
And I think when T.I. was talking about his daughter and her sexuality, there was this double standard that I kept on hearing over and over again. He was saying things like he wasn't as concerned about his son as he was about his daughter. And he said, if my son goes out and gets a girl pregnant, how does the household change for those 9 months? The household doesn't really change. Whereas if my daughter comes home pregnant, my household does change. Your household changes if your son gets someone pregnant as well.
Yeah.
So I just didn't understand where he was coming from.
I viewed it very differently, actually.
What did you say? What did you...
Well, one, I give him a lot of credit in this PC environment that we're in to not only go out there and talk about a conversation that's quite uncomfortable, not just for him, but for everybody to listen to, and for listening, because we didn't play all of it, but I watched it this morning. The conversation, Jada Pinkett Smith provides a lot of good advice for him, being a mom of girls, and he seemed to want to listen and want to learn. And that moment that other people are criticizing, like you, Sonny, about it's the same for a man and a woman, I don't agree with that. Because I just went through a pregnancy, and my husband is an incredible dad, incredible husband. But for those first 9 months, I would come into work every day, and it was on my mind every second of every day because I felt it. I was sick. I knew the anxieties of having to carry a healthy child or do my best to. That crosses my husband's mind probably every once in a while. It's not with you. When he says the first 9 months of it changing his daughter's life, that's what I think he was pointing to, and I don't think he was wrong in that sense.
It doesn't matter. It's still her choice. What the fuck is this bitch going on about? She's pissing me off. It is her choice whether or not she wants to be pregnant and have a baby, and it is her choice if she wants to have safe sex instead. And even if she didn't want to have sex, it is not your right to check up on whether or not she is. Like she just happens to not want sex as well. Like, that's not... You don't do that shit. Oh my god. And obviously, your hymen can be broken from exercise and other athletic activities. It can't just be sex. So what if she did happen to break her hymen through something else? How would he react? It is just so obviously toxic and abusive. And it's just not a good relationship. And I am so happy for her that she has now turned 18. Because now she could, if she really wants to, she can, leave the house, I guess. I don't know what the situation is with that. I don't know if he's gonna be like, you can't leave the house. But, you know? Also, since the news has come out, he's, after the second interview where he's like, everyone was, misunderstanding. We weren't, but okay. He's saying that he is no longer checking up on whether or not her hymen is intact since she has turned 18. But, I don't know where that... Because she turned 18, and on her 18th birthday, he took her to check whether or not her hymen was still intact. So I don't know if it's just 18 is your last one, you can do whatever the fuck you want after that, or if he's saying she is no longer doing these checkups because everyone's criticizing me, and I'm such a victim, and I just don't want this hatred anymore, and you're misunderstanding me.
When this first became a topic, because this has been going on for a while, is that he didn't have her permission to talk about her sexuality. And I know what it feels like to have a dad who everybody knows. Men are already scared to go out with you because they're worried about what to deal with. So now Deja is going to have to deal with every man she goes out with, knowing that her dad was so obsessed with her sexuality that he got her checked by a gynecologist, which, by the way, you can break your hymen doing gymnastics, riding horses, doing many athletic things. And honestly, it's none of her dad's business past 18.
It's none of her dad's business no matter what age she is, but I do like what she is she's talking about, so I'm just going to continue playing this.
And I thought it was very strange and very 1800s. I don't care. I was gonna play a clip. My dad, when I was 14, went on Firing Line and talked about how I had a crush on Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio is an object of my 13-year-old daughter's affection to the degree which I have never experienced.
So she spoke, she'll spoke, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this young man has captured the hearts of every 13-year-old girl in America. I have other problems with Leonardo, but the fact is...
That he's seduced your daughter.
Yes, to distraction.
So this is different.
You were so horrified, I'm sure.
I died.
He wasn't wrong, though.
He wasn't wrong. I loved him, too. I died.
You died.
I died. I was like, I can't believe you would discuss the man I love, because I love DiCaprio.
I know.
And this has...
I would have died.
I was furious at him, 13, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is not... He wasn't talking about my hymen and gynecological stuff on TV. So let me just tell you, his daughter, I promise you, is going to have, whether they like it or not, issues of it. Because if this is enough to have impact,
people know
Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
So that's all I really wanted to talk about. It was disgusting of him to do that. And it kind of reminds me of those posts where it's usually white ass conservative dads in places like fucking Alabama who do these virginity pledges. They make their daughters pledge their virginity to their fathers to promise that they're never gonna have sex, or never gonna have sex until they get married. That's not your right. Oh my god. If you as a father are actively trying to completely remove sexual activities from your daughter's life without their consent, honestly, even if your daughter doesn't want to have sex, would she really with consent pledge? That's just gross. That's weird. Is it not weird that a father would be I don't want you to have sex, I'm just trying to protect you, but can't have sex because you have to stay pure, and also I want to fuck you? That's weird. it's weird. It's like, it just doesn't, that's not right, you know? I don't fuck with that. I think that is disgusting. I guess, like, unless your daughter, like, is genuinely willing to do something like that, like, have their hymen checked every year or pledge their virginity, like, if they're genuinely enthusiastic to do that, do not make them do that. Or do not make them feel in any way at all pressured to do that. Unless your daughter is genuinely enthusiastic about you keeping up with their sex life and restricting their sex life, do not try and get involved with it. And that is all I wanted to talk about. So, I didn't have an outro. I'm kind of hungry, but like, do I really want to be that kind of fat ass? Oh my god, my makeup isn't... I look like a clown.